On this episode of Gas Station Cappuccino, Dean and Danny discuss distance running, lifting weights, tasting coffee, and whatever we talked about at the beginning for a while. Oh, spitting in people's food. Welcome to Gas Station Cappuccino. This is episode 81. I am Danny Lear. Next to me is Dean Sidoris, and we are brought to you by Caffeine and Kilos. PR Blend Coffee.
PR Blend, clearly caffeine.
Clearly caffeine. I'll tell you what, man. The clearly caffeine, and this isn't like, this wasn't pre-planned, like trying to sell it or anything, but the clearly caffeine is just so good. Like,
it is.
Every time. It's one of those things where I know what it tastes like. We developed it, right? Like I tasted it probably before anybody else in the world, you know, like us here anyway, you know, We all did it. And still, it's like every now and then when I go out and when I make some, I'm just like, man, this is just so damn good.
Unless the guy that made it was testing it and he beat us.
Yeah, that's true. They did beat us.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, I was probably like the second or third person in the world.
That guy. Hopefully he's testing his product.
I'd imagine the manufacturer. It's probably not in the factory. They just run it and send it.
He probably
run it, send it.
Dips his finger in the big batch and just like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, he probably licks his finger first.
Oh, clearly he's not using a glove or in water.
Well, licks his finger first, like dipping sticks.
Hey, people don't want to see how chefs test food. People don't want to see how bills are passed.
How the sausage
is made.
That's it.
Because you know damn well at like a 5-star restaurant,
are you kidding me?
They're ladling that soup with their mouths.
Oh, of course they are.
And testing it out, make sure it's good.
Of course they are.
I'm talking like an independently owned, like 5-star Michelin star chef kind of place where the guy's kind of a little eccentric, kind of like a Gordon Ramsay.
You're making,
you know damn well Gordon Ramsay is taking bites of food with his hands and he's ladling soup with his mouth in the back. You
got a soup going or something like that. Or a sauce, right? And you're sitting there, you've been working all day on this, perfecting this fucking au jus that's going out tonight. You know, you're taking a ladle of it to see how it tastes. And you're telling me that he's going to take a little ladle and then he's going to take that ladle and immediately give it to the dishwasher? No. I mean, he like probably should, but that's not what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess. I just stuff. I'm not a germaphobe. That doesn't bother me, I guess. It's like, what's the difference between him doing it or your grandma doing it who fucking smokes, 3 packs of Marlboros and fucking lets her cat lick her mouth?
And
like,
here's another thing too, is like, if that ladle goes back into the soup, like what's the temperature of that soup during cooking? It might even be killing anything off.
Let's put it this way. In the food industry, that would be probably the least offensive thing someone's done to the food that you've eaten at some point in your life.
Be more worried about the fucking cockroach fell in.
Be more worried about the Chinese restaurant that is cooking with stuff that's super dirty and with the conditions that are really bad.
Don't spit in that burger. It's for a cop.
Yeah. And you don't even want to know what happens at fast food. You should just avoid fast food restaurants anyways, but
yeah,
you don't even want to know what goes on
not
there.
even because of
I know people and unfortunately, like I know people that have worked in fast food and the stories you hear, they go down.
Well,
all the time.
Well, what happens when you are, especially when you're younger? Hey, just to be clear on this, we do not think that the people at the factory are like licking their finger and then sticking it in the.
Oh yeah, I know.
That was a joke. Just to be clear about that. Anyway, I mean, it's a fact that when people are younger, your how do you say this? Moral compass is still developing. Right. I mean, as an adult, you think of certain things and you're like, what the fuck? Like that's
like littering.
Disgusting. Or why would somebody do that? Littering is a great example. Or even to the other extreme, the extreme of it of like spitting in someone's food or something like that. Right. Whereas most people, I think it's fair to say, most people as an adult would like never even consider it. Like even if, even if they didn't like somebody, you're like, no, you're not fucking doing that. Like that's like ridiculous. However, a lot of people, when they are, say, 16, 17, even under the age of, say, 22, 23, maybe you do some things that you're not proud of later in life.
Yeah, or you just don't care.
Or maybe you're just always a shithead.
Yeah.
And it's just you're just always a shithead. But I think it's definitely a fact that younger people are more likely to do a little more suspect things because you're still working your way through it. You haven't fully embraced the I don't want someone to do this to me yet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's just
And who do you get working at these places?
It's also like, hey, like it's Friday night, it's 11 o'clock. I want to go out. I'm not fucking cleaning this shit hella good at McDonald's. Who doesn't care about me?
I'm not cleaning it. Yeah.
I'm gonna run that under the water and I'm gonna put it back, or like at the best.
Oh, at best.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's probably the least. Like I said, that's probably the least offensive things they do. Oh, the rag fell on the ground in the dirt where I've been stepping all day. I'll even wash a dish with that, or I'll wash the cleaning.
Wipe down.
I'll wipe down the microwave tray with that.
Yeah,
it's gonna heat up anyways.
Yeah, which that might be true. Yeah, dude. Did you ever worked in a restaurant or any sort of food service?
No, I have not. I know a lot of people that have. A lot of restaurant. I have a lot of friends that worked in the restaurant business.
I worked in a restaurant.
Yeah, I never have.
Worked in a restaurant for about a year. Started off over the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. My brother was the manager at this microbrewery in town. It's a full restaurant microbrew. And so I was working there over the summer. I'd go in early, like 6 a.m. They had these big, giant wood burning ovens. They're like huge smokers, like these big brick smokers, basically. And so I would get all of the like whole chickens, whole tri-tips, prime rib, whole prime rib, all that. And I'd start the fires in these smokers. And then after about an hour when they're up to temperature, I'd load all that shit up, pop it in there. And then I'd prep all the meat for the next day to get in there to be smoked. And then once it was in there smoking, then I'd like open up the rest of the restaurant. Like I had keys, everything, go like open up the kitchen, get everything ready, like unlock all the fridges, all that type of shit. And then school year started, I worked there through most of my senior year.
I had a couple buddies that worked out at this pretty famous nudist colony. Short order cooks at this nudist colony out here locally out in like...
Oh, this is a real story.
No, it's a real story.
Oh, okay.
At this nudist colony out here.
There's a local nudist colony?
Yeah, there's a pretty popular one, actually. Well, it's more popular because there was like this famous serial killer that was like hiding out there.
That's a good thing to be known for.
And it's out here kind of like in like, I think it's like Wilton area or like a little farther down.
It's not that far out.
It's not far out here at all. It's like, it's close. I went there one time in his, to go pick up
to get a couple
up his check.
Meat swings.
Yeah, we were young. They were young when they worked there. Thinking about it, but you just walk in, like they just walked in. You just go to the kitchen. You're out there cooking. People just naked at the gate, walking around.
Yeah,
white sneakers, white socks, hat on, nothing else.
Well, you got to wear the sneakers. You don't want your feet to get burned.
Kristen might know the name of the place. It's like something like Playa del Sol. I think that's what it's called. I think it was like Playa del Sol.
Really?
I think that's what it was called.
The old Sun Beach.
Yep, I think that's what it was called out here in the Sac County. Pretty sure. No, maybe it wasn't Sac County. I don't know. It's close though.
Surprised it wasn't called Playa de Luna.
What's that?
I don't know. I think is Luna moon in Spanish.
Idea. No clue.
Well, I think it means moon.
Yeah. So they worked out there.
That's an ass show.
And there was a lot of dickhead customers, no pun intended. But they,
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, they some things fell on the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I worked in a restaurant, there was nothing ever done on purpose like that. But there's no question that most of the people working in the kitchen, like, there's the head chef who is a little bit older and more, doing his thing. And then everyone else is, younger or doesn't speak English.
Well, say you're on a time crunch. Boss is kind of already riding your ass.
Or you're slammed. Restaurant's slammed.
You spent 20 minutes, flat ironing this steak that someone wants well done because that's a long time, and then it falls on the ground. You're gonna just drop another 20 minutes down on that order, make a 40-minute wait.
No one's around, no one's looking.
You're probably gonna pick that shit up. And you're probably gonna put it back on that grill.
Well, especially, and this is again, maybe it actually is, but like we're talking about stuff going in the deep fryer, like because the fryers are on back, right? Because we had a show kitchen, you could look in. But then there's like a backside where like the deep fryers were and stuff. So you're frying up some fucking French fries or whatever. And a couple of these fries might have fallen on the ground or on the counter next to it, which isn't really that clean, that type of thing. It's going in the deep fryer.
Hey, it's better than like opening up deep fryer and there's a dead rat fried.
Oh, shit.
Seen that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
moral story here: just don't eat at fast food anyway.
Well, don't, like they say, don't fuck with people that fuck with your food. That's the moral of that segment.
Just ask Farva.
Just don't fuck with people that fuck with your food.
There we go. Well, that's that. Restaurant wise, we got a pretty exciting afternoon.
Playa del Sol. I'm gonna go check that place out. There's a bunch of old people.
Oh, I'm sure.
Old people, retired people. That's what they said. It was mostly old people and just fucking weirdos.
It's just a lot of saggy everything.
Like, what is the desire there? Like, you don't got, like, just do it in your backyard. I don't get it. Maybe you just want to communicate with other nakeds. Is that what you call each other?
I guess they have like a term for each other.
Oh yeah, we're going over there and meet the nakeds. I'm going to hang out with the other nakeds.
I'm an egg friends. I don't know if you've been to Nudist Colony or know what's up. Let us know. Podcast at Cappuccino.
I wonder if it's like still a thing. I wonder if it's still open.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'll swing by.
Yeah, swing by.
I'll spin. Take a spin. Take it for a spin.
Take a little meat. Go on a little meat spin trip.
I just went over there to take my meat for a spin.
I wonder if that kind of stuff's acceptable there, though. Are you allowed to just kind of walk around and like start spinning? Or do you have to just kind of like play it cool? Like you got, like, there's nothing.
Well, I think
wonder what the rules are.
Well, I think that's how you wave.
Okay.
Hey, Dino! See someone across the yard. Hey, Dino! And then you hit it with the one time. Just give it a quick little loop.
Man, that's a strange desire to want to go there. But hey, to each their own.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They actually got paid pretty good, though, to cook there. And we were young, so they're making,
oh, yeah.
You're making, $17 an hour in the early 2000s, and you're like 16, 15. You don't really have many bills.
Oh, you're
kind of crushing it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dude. So afternoon, this is a pretty exciting afternoon. Going up to meet with our roasters. Go see the roasting facility.
Go in the roastery.
Go in the old roastery, because we are going to be selecting the next 6 months or so Coffee of the Month.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how this goes. If you're not on Coffee of the Month, or if you are and want to know how it goes down, every 6 months, Dean and I head to the roastery, which is just down the road. Okay, about 17 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And we head down there, and the head roaster Dave, he's got usually has about 10 or so, 9 or 10 different blends. He's got all ready to rock. Okay. And we go through, we taste them all, and then we pick our top 6. And then we choose what month those ones are going to be rolling out based on flavor profiles, time of year, all that type of stuff. What's before it and after it, and what we got going on.
There's more to it than just picking randoms.
More to it than picking randoms.
We take into consideration a bunch of things, like, Danny just said, season. What are the seasons?
Yeah.
What have we done around it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something new. What's something that maybe is like a special limited edition almost, right?
Yep.
Kind of. Excuse me. Seasonally, like stuff that's only grown during certain seasons.
Or that gets in different seasons.
Yeah. So lots of cool things that go down with that.
Flavor profiles, if something tastes. Sometimes you take a sip of coffee and you're like, this just tastes like Christmas.
Yeah. No, you can really build an image with a sip. It's if anybody ever offers up, hey, you want to go to a cupping with me, at such and such roaster, take them up on it. It's a lot of fun and it's a good time. I know, a lot of these places locally that roast even their own small batch stuff, they host cupping events all the time where people can you can show up and go and be a part of it. But yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. So I'm excited. And this time I know he's got a few ready, and then he's going to also something else where he's going to taste a bunch of single origins and kind of pick what we like. And then he's going to put some more together for us. So anyway, it's an exciting time out there.
Always fun doing the cuppings.
Dude, I've been, I think I mentioned last show that I'm cracking down diet wise, trying to drop some lbs here for this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, man, it's just good to do something to be like motivated for something, like working out wise. Like not like I haven't missed one. Like I've been doing extra, like more than normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those things where, well, I'm here, might as well like do a little more. Or one day, I don't know if I'm gonna make it today. And it's like, or normally may not go to a class on a certain day, but it's like, oh no, I'm going tonight. I'm like getting that extra one. then it's easy nutrition wise. Like something comes up, like it's not even a question. It's like, nah, I'm not doing it. So anyway, if you're anybody struggling with motivation or staying on something, you just got to pick a goal, like pick a challenge and get other people involved.
Yeah. And then your trickle down effect when that challenge is over is that you're probably going to be a percentage up on your strictness than you were before.
Yeah.
You know, you might not stay at that top level, but you're not going to fall as far back.
You're learning something.
Yeah, you're gonna hold on to some things for sure, positive things. You know, you might not, be as strict, but you're gonna be more strict probably than you were before. I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and also you get in habits, right? So if you're doing it 6 weeks, you probably, most people are creatures of habit, right? Kind of end up eating the same type of thing every day. Even if it's not the exact same thing, it's the same type of thing. Like that's right, and this is what I mean by that. Is for dinner, whatever, we have some sort of meat and some sort of vegetable. That's pretty standard. And then for lunch, I just take usually leftovers from that dinner, whatever it was, And so you just kind of get in this routine of doing something. And even if that's not your thing, just whatever your thing is, if you you got to hit a certain whatever nutrition, certain number of macros or certain number of calories or whatever you're doing, and you do that for 6 weeks, that's long enough to build a habit. So then even when the 6 weeks is over, it's easier just to keep doing what you're doing as far as what your lunch habit is or your breakfast habit is or those types of things. You make some sort of little tweak during the challenge. And when it's over, that little tweak might just stay with you because now it's what you do.
Yep. Lifestyle change. Nutrition is a lifestyle. It's not necessarily a diet, proper nutrition. That's what people need to realize. It's like the word diet, I think gets used incorrectly a lot.
Oh my God. Well,
it's just more like nutrition, I guess, is
nutrition.
Just basic nutrition.
Well, look, the term diet, it comes from the term dietary intake. What's your diet look like? It's like, what's your dietary intake? That's what diet comes from. Right. So I actually wrote an email to the gym about this, that came up a few times. I'm like, when I'm eating this diet, and I was like, well, just to be clear, not diet like weight loss diet, just as in like diet, as in like this is what I'm eating, as in my dietary intake, right? But that's where it's at. Is you have to specify that. If you just say like, oh well, that doesn't fit into my diet right now. Like, oh, your diet. Oh, what are you dieting for? So, well, I'm not on a weight loss diet. This is my dietary intake. This is just my nutrition. This is what I'm eating, right? And that's the thing. The term diet definitely has a negative stigma.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, definitely doesn't mean dietary intake anymore.
No,
I mean, like technically, the root of it might mean that, but like, no, you ask anybody that, they don't know that that's what that means.
Oh, what's a diet? Oh, it's when you're trying to lose weight.
Oh, so you like on paleo or something, or you on keto or something, or there's like it comes with like a pre-made up plan, but that's not necessarily the case.
Right. Diet's basically
it's way more broad than that.
People think weight loss diet always.
Yeah.
When you say diet, they assume some sort of a weight loss diet.
Yeah, or fat loss or weight loss, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I guess that's basically that's all you really lose unless you're trying to do a muscle losing diet. You're really trying to lose some muscle.
Get more time on the couch, dog. That'll get that, tank that testosterone down nice and low.
Yeah, soften that up.
Take on long distance running.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to tank your testosterone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. That's a whole other thing. That's definitely, obviously I think that's true. But then again, like you look at some of these like world record guys and they're pretty jacked.
They're pretty lean.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say jacked.
Yeah, that's true. Well, their legs are pretty jacked sometimes. Yeah, they're lean, I guess, more lean than jacked. Being lean makes you look more jacked.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's absolutely a fact. If you have
those shadows bouncing,
lower body fat, I mean, that's the key. It's the goal. Yeah, I remember that. There's a study about you compared long distance runners and people who didn't exercise at all. They found that couch potatoes had higher testosterone than long distance runners.
Which is weird because they say the fastest way to encourage natural testosterone production is by working out your legs.
Well, there's a difference between squatting and running for 3 hours. The problem is when you're working out your legs is different than long distance running.
So according to this study, I'm curious now. So according to this study, the world record holder marathon sprinter has less testosterone.
No, that's not what it's saying.
Than the couch potato.
That's not what it's saying. What it's saying, that may or may not be true, but what this study just did is it just took people who run for long distance running, whatever that means. They accumulate however many miles in a week, whatever they determine that to be, right? This was 15 years ago. I read this in college, but so I don't remember exactly all the details around it. But so you take a group of 100 people who are all long distance runners. They all run more than, say, 50 miles a week. And then you take people who don't exercise at all, and they test all their hormone levels. And the group of long distance runners had lower testosterone than the group of people who didn't exercise at all. Because, so there's a difference. Now, that is not talking about sprinting. That's not talking about lifting weights. That is talking about long, what's that? What do you call it? Like slow cardio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so because that time of doing that long, slow cardio just jacks up your hormones, spikes your cortisol levels, tanks your testosterone. It's a whole thing. That's why you get in the running community. There are people who are lean. I'm not saying every long distance runner or every marathoner isn't. That'd be ridiculous, obviously. But if you look at there's a lot of people who run their hobby, they run marathons and half marathons and stuff. And you look at them, they're just soft, skinny fat.
Yeah, and also that's because the high level ones are not just running; they're doing strength conditioning to benefit their running.
And
also,
the speed, they're not doing long, slow distance; they're doing long, fast distance.
Yeah, that's true. They're running 6 minute miles for 26 miles.
Right. If you look at if you're on a marathon,
that's a slow one apparently for a pro.
Well, if you're on a marathon, you figure in less than 2.5 hours. Right? 26 miles, whatever the math is.
That's a full grown.
The point is you're fucking moving. You're running 6 minute miles exactly the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's entirely different than going out and slogging your way through
speed walking,
basically. Mm-hmm. Long, slow distance is the key there. And again, the average person is different than the person who this is their sole pursuit in life and all that. But anyway, interesting. That's why
interesting.
Long, slow distance is not usually. So what is the answer if you're looking for
what's good for fat loss?
Is sprints.
Yeah.
100 times better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is. For sure. But most people with running, though, it's not just about the actual physical benefits.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that nobody should run. I don't think I'm not going to say nobody should do anything. You can do whatever you want to do. As far as health wise, there's a cap though on the number of miles in a week or a day that is would be reasonable. Someone who's running 100 miles a week or something like that. It's okay, well, there's probably diminishing returns at some point. Now, if that's what you want to do and you do it because you like it, you like the endorphins or whatever, and you like the runner's high and all that, do what you want to do. Just like lifting weights to a certain degree isn't healthy for you, right? Lifting weights in moderation. Lifting weights in moderation is absolutely fantastic for you, but training, 9 sessions a week is not good. Doing CrossFit for an hour a day is absolutely fantastic for you. Training for 3 hours a day to compete in CrossFit is not healthy. You're past the health point, right? It's kind of the same thing.
No, it's all the extremes are on any kind of physical activity on the extreme side is not necessarily going to be healthy.
You want to go around.
You might look healthy, but when you're stopping, you're done not doing that anymore. What's going to happen? You
want to go run 3-5 miles, something like that. 3 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, and you feel good and you like it. It's fucking wonderful. But if you're going to go out and run for 2 hours and think that you're doing something that's good for your health, I'm not convinced that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm also not convinced it's better than sitting on the couch.
Oh, no. I'm not saying...
For your chest. I understand that study.
I'm not saying it's... I'm not saying it's better to be a couch potato. I'm just saying...
I know you're not saying
that. If the only marker you're looking at is testosterone levels.
Yeah.
Straight up.
And like you said, it is a 15-year-old study. And I'd be curious to see that study today. Because also, think about how many times egg health has changed over the last 15 years, as far as studies go. But so who knows what they would say now? But I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm not saying it is true. I'm just saying I find that hard to believe that even a long distance runner that runs slow, that's not sprinting, would have the testosterone levels lower. I guess I don't understand it enough. So I would be curious to see more on that. I might have to do my own research just to kind of get more information on that.
It's just the things that happen at a hormonal level when your body breaks down to that level.
But I'm curious to see like what that number would be, what that wall would be, like why.
Oh yeah,
and why.
Oh yeah, why?
And why the guy sitting on the couch. I guess maybe it's like it just doesn't make sense. But why would it sitting on a couch lower your testosterone levels? They might not go up.
Right.
Why would they go down?
They're not going to be as high as someone who's, say, squatting and doing things that are, and sprinting, which are like the two best things for testosterone levels.
Yeah, that's why a lot of sprinters are jacked.
Oh, look at a picture of a sprinter and look at a picture of
plus a massive use of steroids in sprinting. But
right. Well, look at even at a high school level, right? Like or college level. Like anyway, you look at a sprinter guy. It's a 100-yard dash, and you look at the guy who's running the marathon, and it's entirely different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
100%.
There's no question. And of course, there's also some of that is the bias too of the person doing it, right? Like someone who's good at sprinting is going. So it's like, are they so much more muscular because they sprint, or are they so much more muscular because the type of person who's more muscular is better at sprinting and therefore sprints? And I think the answer is actually both. The answer is both. Someone who happens to be built that way and happens to be faster, and then you train in a way that produces that. You know what I mean? So it's like you take maybe you're preconditioned a little bit in that way, but then you train in a way that's shown to do that.
One thing's for sure is I've seen hundreds of pictures of side-by-sides of men and women that thought when they were doing these marathons and running a lot that they were in shape with their bodies, and then started doing CrossFit. Yeah. And they're like 5 times as jacked, and they look like totally different people.
Well, there's a difference between...
There's no doubt about that.
There's a difference between being skinny and being fit.
Oh, yeah. And it's also, there's like this kind of, on the non-professional level. Yeah. There is this kind of like skinny, fat look that comes with like being a runner. Right. And it's probably what your body needs to look like and needs to store fat for these runs. Yeah, could be. Because like, well, you do anything, your body's like, adapt to it. Oh, we got 5 miles coming up. Your body knows that. So it's time to store some fat. Well, I think it depends also on the way that people a lot of times in that community eat and think the way they're supposed to fuel for these runs. They're taking fucking like running marathons, like eating those goo packets and like high sugar, high carbohydrate. You combine somebody telling you your life as a child and the fucking food pyramid and stuff from the United States. So you take someone telling you that you have to eat all these carbohydrates and that's the best thing for you. And you're a distance runner. Well, you need all these carbohydrates, a shit ton of them. And that's the only way to do this. Right. And so then you eat this super high carbohydrate diet and then do this activity, which is shown to be hard on your hormones and fuck up your body. And then it's like you combine, it's like the perfect storm of someone that ends up being skinny fat. Yeah. Yeah. Bottom line is, you know what? If you want to be leaner and feel good, like you should probably do some sprints, some sort, lift some weights of some sort. And there you go. But also, most importantly, you know what, man, whatever you like to do it. That's really it. If you get some sort of satisfaction out of something that may not be, the healthiest thing or whatever, like do what you like to do. It's all good. Yeah, none of this matters. All that matters is like what you want to do. Right. And as long as like you're having fun and you're staying active, just do your thing. The problem is that some people fall into that life because they were told or for some reason believe that is the best way to get skinny or to lose weight is by running as far as you can and eating as little as possible. For sure. No, and that's like the problem. It's every day you see, even in your neighborhood, you'll see somebody that you don't see them. Another thing is too, like I know we're running out of time, but like you also don't see them more than like a couple times, then you don't see them again. Yep. Out there running. Mm-hmm. And they're usually because, they look, maybe they look like they've been neglecting working out. Mm-hmm. And what's the default thing to do? Go for a run. Go for a run. Yeah. Which is way better than doing nothing. For sure. Be clear on that. Way better than doing nothing. For sure. But then also like but that's the thing. What I'm getting at with that whole statement though is that it's a like a conditioned stigma, like, oh, this is what you need to do.
Right.
Well, actually, no, just do some more research and find out things that might benefit you better.
Look up an expert. Go talk to somebody who knows.
Yeah, go talk to them. Don't just default to what you think is right, because you might actually be doing not what you need to be doing.
I think that was the lesson right there. So if you don't know what to do and you want to make a change, look it up or talk to someone who knows. And at the end of the day, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
This has been Gas Station Cappuccino.